Welcome to Rena's Kitchen again, where we're going to make up a remedy, and we're going to be making the cure for asthma. Remember, we made our cassava starch. You can go back to my other video or reel and you will see where we made our cassava starch. It's stored in this bottle. So now we get our nopal, otherwise called tuna in like the Caribbean, and it's called prickly pear like in the United States, and the Hispanic culture it's called nopal. So all right, this is a little brown on the edge where they cut off the spikes for me already, because you know it's a cactus and it has the needles that will prick you. So I bought the one that's they took the needles off, so I had it for a few days, so those spots got a bit brown, but it's still good. So we're going to wash that. If you have a glove, you could put on a glove. See like the prickly needles right there on that one, right there. Wash that off. And we're going to wash that. For the remedy, you can just use 2. We're going to wash all 4, but I'm just going to use 2 for the remedy. So it's going to be boiled, so you don't have to be elaborate with the washing. And we'll use this one. Okay. And tuna is a bit slippery. The nopal, it's a bit slippery. And it's going to be slimy, like almost like aloe vera when you boil it. It's also good to reduce, so we're going to slice it in the middle. It's good to reduce cholesterol as well, or belly fat. So we're going to, so all the needles were cut off for me. If you have the plant yourself, you'll have to cut off all those yourself. And we're going to slice the middle down so all that goodness can boil out. See, and we can cut it to the part where we cut already, and then we'll cut this in 2 so that it's easy to gore down. And we're gonna gore down the middle. That one slipped off, so we'll gore again, because we want to get right in the middle to boil out all that slimy goodness. You see that? That's where the medicine is, and we want it to boil out. So we're going to continue doing that for all the pieces. And in the meantime, we're going to put our water to boil. So we'll put 500 mils or 16.9 fluid ounces. This is my spring water. I do not use the pipe water, so I'm using a whole bottle, which is, as I said, 16 ounces or 500 mils. We're going to put that to boil. Get ready to add our cactus to it, and we're using 2 stems of cactus, prickly pear, nopal, otherwise called tuna in Jamaica or some islands in the Caribbean. Let's see, it's okay if it breaks. You just need to get in the middle for the goodness. This also can be used to wash your hair, and you can make it a water and drink the water. Rest it in your refrigerator and drink it like for 2 days, and it gets rid of abnormal belly fats and others. Control your cholesterol, regulate your blood sugar. So yes, but this is the asthma cure. Yes, my mother and people in the Caribbean use this, and it's been used for generations to cure asthma, the respiratory condition where you're next to dying, the respiratory tract keep closing off. Yes, you're going to drink this mixture every morning. The person who has asthma is going to drink this mixture every morning until the asthma is cured. So it's going to be like a porridge. And we're going to use our cassava starch to thicken it. So yes, you just boil this every morning like you would take your cereal. You're going to take this. Like how you would drink your tea, you're going to drink this. The person who has the asthma. you're going to make this for them, and they drink it every morning, or even morning and evening if some is left. But once a day is good enough. And you use 2 leaves. We're almost done slicing up our leaves. The other things we're going to add to this is a whole nutmeg. We're going to grate a whole nutmeg. Now, if you buy the nutmeg powder, you may have to use a whole teaspoon, I think will be a whole nutmeg. So we're going to grate a whole nutmeg, and you'll see how much that measures. And then we're going to sweeten it with some brown sugar. For those who do not want to use any sweetener, go right ahead, but I'm making it exactly the way my mom and others use it to cure asthma. All right, there we go. Our water is hot. We're going to add it to our pot. Here we go. 2 whole prickly pear, otherwise called nopal or tuna. We're going to boil this for 15 minutes to get all that slime goodness out in the water, and then we'll come back. Okay, while our nopal is being boiled, or tuna is boiling, prickly pear, we're going to prepare the other ingredients. So nutmeg, I store my whole nutmegs in this jar. So you grate 1 whole nutmeg. This is a half, just in case this one is not. So we're gonna grate our whole nutmeg, an entire nutmeg. And we're going to mix our cassava starch that we made to thicken this remedy in some water. And we're gonna have them ready so that when the nopal is finished boiling, or tuna or prickly pear, then we're going to thicken it with the starch, and then we're going to add our nutmeg and our brown sugar to sweeten. We're going to measure how much we get from a whole nutmeg. So it doesn't matter the size, so that for those who don't have the whole nutmeg to grate, you'll have an idea how much is it you're going to use. And I think it's about a teaspoon. So let's see. We're going to get our teaspoon. This little piece that's left, we can put that to the side. You could always add a little bit of that one to make up for that little piece, and that's the old nutmeg. All right. This is more than a teaspoon. See, guys, you're going to get a whole tablespoon. So for those who have the powder of the nutmeg, it's 1 tablespoon. See? 1 tablespoon. All right. And then we're going to mix our cassava starch. We're going to dissolve it in some water so we have it ready to thicken the mixture. For cassava starch, we're going to use 1 tablespoon. So I had it in my little bag. I didn't empty it from the bag yet, my Ziploc bag. So we're going to use 1 tablespoon of cassava starch. And the nutmeg has the power to dilate the lungs so that the breathing improves and the mucus comes out. Because what happens in asthma, it keeps constricting, you know, tightening, and then the air exchange cannot get to happen properly. So the nutmeg component relaxes and improves breathing, and the tuna, the nopal, is going to work to remove all that mucus and resolve the cause of the asthma. So they combine together, and there's some remedy as well in the cassava because we made it ourselves, so we know it's pure to thicken the mixture. And the tuna, it's coming up. See, guys, look, it's all thick and gooey, a little gooey. So tuna is gooey, sort of like aloe vera. So we're gonna turn that off. Look at that goodness. And we're gonna remove all the stems. But let's make our cassava mixture, starch mixture. So I'm gonna add some of my spring water. I hope one day I'll be able to store my water in glass bottles, but for now, I buy the spring water at the store in the plastic. We just try to avoid BPA bottles, you know, because those are cancer causing. So we do the best we can. And then you use a fork to dissolve your cassava starch in the water. So you beat it. It's okay if a little cassava get away in the starch because we eat cassava anyway. All right, but we can strain it to get the lumps out. So I'm gonna strain it when I'm adding it to the mixture to make it perfectly smooth without the little grains of cassava that got in this starch. All right, so we set that aside. And we're going to also, this is our brown sugar. And for those who are diabetic or do not use sugar, you can omit the sugar, but we're going to put the sugar in because that's the original remedy. And it's non-GMO, so this is organic, real brown sugar. All right, so you got to get the real stuff, not the white sugar because that's too processed. All right, so we're going to get 1 tablespoon of brown sugar because we don't want to make it too sweet. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar for our mixture. Make it palatable for even children. They may not want to drink the fresh one, but some children, they are trained to drink the fresh or they just have to, so it's fine. But we have 1 tablespoon of brown sugar. All right, so now we need to take out the stems. Come over here. We need to take the stems out. So we're going to remove the cactus from the water. And this, we don't have to throw this out because in the Hispanic culture, they cook this as meat. So I'm going to recycle this. I'm not going to throw this out. When I was in the Caribbean, they would throw this out, but now I learned that you can even eat this. So I'm going to make a dish with this. So I'm not going to throw it out. And then I'll show you in a video what I made with it and how it tastes to me, all right? I know it can be a bit tangy or sour. So that's why the Hispanic culture, they boil it before they cook it down in a meat. They boil off that first tangy flavor, or they eat it raw in a vegetable salad because it cleans toxins from the body in its raw form as well. All right, so remove all the stems and the water is all slippery looking. Look at that. See that slimy goodness? It's slightly slimy, so there we go. All right, then we're going to add our starch. So we stir that around a little bit. Again, we're going to strain it so any little pulp that's in it can get out. So there we go. We strain our starch. And we're going to turn back our flame on to low and stir that in. Ooh, it's thickening already. It's thickening already, guys. My cassava starch is thickening up. I'm going to use my beater. So we can beat that in with my egg beater so it becomes one. There you go. All right. And then we're going to add our tablespoon of sugar. To sweeten. And we're going to also add our entire nutmeg, which is 1 tablespoon of nutmeg that we grate. There we go. We gotta get that nutmeg in because it's gonna open up the lungs, increase the breathing, and cure the asthma along with the tuna. the nopal, and we sweeten. We dissolve all that nutmeg and blend it in nicely together. So it's gonna be like a porridge. It's thickened. The 2 nights of was thick, the nopal, and then the cassava starch that we made ourselves to thicken it with medicinal properties as well to help reverse, cure the asthma, and then a little sugar, brown sugar to taste. And it's all ready. And we can drink it warm or cold. So I'm going to get the teacup. We're going to pour it in and drink. Use a mason jar so you can see how it looks. You can use a teacup at home. So look at that. So the person should drink this entire thing, but I'm going to drink a half of it and give my girls a half. So here we go. Remember, it's hot. It's a little tangy from the nopal, you know, and then I taste the nutmeg. And a little bit of sweetness from the brown sugar. Ooh, that warmth is going down. So cure asthma. Drink this every morning. Let them drink the entire thing. So it could be like breakfast, sort of, in addition to your fruits or what you eat. And it's going to fill you up and it's going to reverse, cure asthma. Enjoy.